Let's call on the starters for Philippine Air Force Airmen. Starting off with their team captain, number 6, Airman Ronchet Villegas. At number 5, Paul Salvador. Wearing jersey number 8, Luis Lumanlan. At number 9, Harold Domingo. Jersey number 12, Brian Haleco. And number 17, Ahmad Abdul. First libero is number 16, Marco Baclan. With their head coach, Sergeant Jeffrey Malabana. Now introducing PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Let's call on their team captain, number 16, Seaman Second Class, Greg Dolor. At number 4, Apprentice Seaman John Jacob. Jersey number 14, Seaman Second Class, Marvin Hairami. At number 15, Apprentice Seaman Peter Kiel. Jersey number 17, Seaman First Class, Wilbert Sapida. At number 18, Seaman Second Class, Joven De La Vega. Their first libero is number 13, Seaman Second Class, Jack Kalingking. With our head coach, Mr. George Pasqua. This is match number 5 of the preliminary rounds between Philippine Air Force Airmen and the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. May the best team win.
Abdul Lumanlan, Salvador Domingo Villegas as their libero. Meanwhile, on the other side for PGJC Navy, their starters, De La Vega, Sapida, Jacob, Dolor, Kiel, Hairami, and Kalingking as their libero. We are about to begin this matchup. Thank you for joining us for this Sunday doubleheader. Dip Dipianco alongside Doc AJ Pareja on call for this match. And we also have our courtside reporter, Denise Valdesancho, who will give us the reports later on. Doc AJ, this is a good matchup between two squads. Magkaiba nga lang, no, for Navy. Lost their opening game against a tough squad na Signal HD Spikers, but Air Force already on the winning board.
Yes, both teams are no strangers to each other. They've fought many times, especially in the AFP Olympics. But this Air Force squad right now is very much young. As I mentioned a while ago, not the usual faces that we see from Air Force. Most of these guys are fresh out of college from NU. But they're no stranger to the system because it's also the system of Coach Michael.
And when you say young, it's not necessarily a bad thing, right?
Yes, definitely not. It has a lot of advantage also.
Mga mas, I guess you could say more energy, can get up there. But not to count out the vets also because they know what it takes to win here in the Spikers turf. That sails out.
Salvador trying to catch the tip of the blockers with that attack.
3 points now for Navy here in set number 1. Villegas sets up Salvador again. Dolor. They're asking for a touch.
Ball is out.
Abdul quick to admit that there's a touch.
Challenge is not yet available.
But
challenge will be denied. Point is served for Philippine Air
challenge
Force.
will be denied.
The referees will discuss. Initially, Navy was asking for that challenge on the attack of Greg Dolor, pero
Serving Manlang.
Oh, so far, wala muna tayong challenge to begin this one.
Off the block.
As De La Vega blasts that ball out off the block of Air Force.
Once again, for this game, challenge is unavailable.
Villegas inangat kay Salvador. Battle of the net. That is a point for Dolor.
Dolor making up for that
serving two.
Previous attack that they were contesting.
Peter Kim serving for
Navy
Navy.
with a solid front line now with Salvador and De La Vega up front.
Villegas for the coverage. Salvador goes up. Haleco chases. Salvador again. Good defense by Navy. Villegas back sets to Abdul. And that's inside.
Abdul finds the line.
Not the best of contact for Abdul, but high enough that he can go for that corner shot in zone 1. Just in between the seam of
Ahmad Abdul serving
Jairami
for
and Jacob.
Airmen.
That's way out for
That goes
Abdul.
out. Point for Navy.
And it's a 6-3 lead now for Navy here in set 1.
Joven De La Vega serving for the Sea Lions.
Joven De La Vega on deck to serve. Villegas inangat kay Salvador. Saved by Navy. Credit that to De La Vega. Navy playing solid defense, and then the move by Jairami.
Gotta give a lot of credit to the floor defense of
7-3.
Navy. Salvador still unable to tally an attack point after
Sir,
already 7
De La Vega.
attempts early on here in set number 1.
Villegas inangat kay Salvador. He's been a go-to for Air
Down the
Force.
Ball goes out,
Salvador.
but a lucky point for Air Force as a net touch violation will be called at the Navy.
Three-point lead right now for Navy as it stands. So point is awarded to Air Force.
Serving Salvador.
Sent back by
Domingo with a block.
Domingo.
Good read on the part of
5-7.
Domingo. A much needed block for Air Force.
Serving Salvador.
Outside.
Out.
And
First technical timeout.
that leads us to this first technical timeout. Navy up by 3.
Philippine Air Force Airmen.
Wala namang ano dito, ayaw nyo kasi mag-communicate na naman eh. Diba? Wala naman, no bearing game. Enjoyin nyo lang. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kayo yung naglalaro sa loob ng court, ilabas nyo lang yung natural na galaw nyo. Diba? Madaling manalo, pero dapat isipin nyo kung paano tayo mananalo, kung saan tayo nag-a-advantage.
You're still with us. This is the 2024 Spikers Turf Open Conference live here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum, Manila. Dip, AJ, and to the volleyball fans out there, to those of you not familiar with Coach Jess of the Airman, he's got a lot of history with this family. He discussed with me kanina na he has an advantage of being an old player of the Philippine Air Force, na he has this bond with the players. Also an FEU alumnus, no? And a coach for NU currently. Ang goal niya raw dito ay ma-apply ang NU system even to some of the past FEU players na rookie ngayon. And from there on, the mindset is to just enjoy the ride. Gentlemen?
Thank you, Denise, for that report. No? You like that there's experience from the coaches incorporating what they've also learned playing previously for the same team.
And it's much more interesting as Jesse Lopez, he's up against his former mentor, George Pasqua.
Right. Villegas. That drops right in para kay Haleko.
7-8.
Haleko just tipping it over the block, finding that donut hole in the middle of the Navy court. Just within one.
7 serving 8. Misreceived by Jacob and an ace.
We are tied at
King
8.
didn't go for that second ball, forcing Greg Dular to chase after it.
Serving Domingo.
Domingo back at the line to serve. The runner unable to put it away. Aleko with the easy over. Chance for Navy. It's back with the blue shirts. Palitan ng palo. Villegas medyo mababa. De La Vega from the back. No. Kept alive by Air Force. Haleko. And there's a check.
Haleko off the block.
Haleko, our featured player a while ago, finally getting that shift in the lead for the Air Force.
Domingo for the serve.
But Navy answers back.
9-all.
Jacob overpowering the block. And just too much for Domingo to reach.
Wilbert Sapida at the service zone. 3 point for Air Force.
Short. And lead swings back to Air Force. It's been a back and forth here early in set number 1, Doc AJ.
Yeah, Navy pretty much in control early on, but after the technical timeout, Air Force was able to make a run of their own. Now they're up by 1.
That one sent back by Abdul.
3 blocks already for the Air Force. This has been their game changer so far in set number 1. It's their blocks.
Substitution, Navy, 14 out, 9.
There will be a substitution on the part of Navy.
A change of setter
Yeah.
for Coach George Pasqua. Pudadera in
Team captain
for Jairami. Let's see how this will vary the offensive strategy of the Sea Lions.
Villegas sinangat. Outside for Haleko.
A little too early on the timing for Haleko. He was way underneath the ball. So adding power to that will definitely send the ball way out.
Villegas back sets. Haleko tried to go down the line, but it went out.
Back-to-back attack errors for Haleko. going for that wrist away move, but just overcooking it. Kalingking with a perfect judgment.
Putadera for the serve.
Deadlock at 11 all. Villegas, so denied.
No entry. Says De La Vega.
Navy showing that they
12-11.
also can put up a solid defense in the net. De La Vega just one-on-one with Abdul. That shutdown.
Aleco. Oh, just went through the blockers.
Aleco on the hit out.
Smart
12
play
all.
for Aleco. Not adding too much power and just using the block to his advantage.
Brian Aleco serving for Air Force. Cross-court kill.
Cross-court attack.
Call from the right wing, just over the block of Salvador as he moves to serve for the Sea Lions.
John Jacob serving for the Sea Lions.
Villegas with a set.
Illegal attack. Hold on,
Illegal
Villegas.
attack to be called on Villegas with that one-handed set.
The lead is now with Navy at 2 points. It looks like the setter change for Coach George Pasco has worked to his advantage.
Yeah, it's proving to be effective for the Sea Lions as Pudadera has been setting up play after play. And now they have a 3-point lead.
15 serving 12. That one is short for Salvador.
Point for PGJC.
And we
Navy
reach the
Sea
second
Lions.
technical timeout.
That
Navy
leads
up by
to a
4.
second technical timeout.
Yun yung sabi ni Coach Roger lagi na disiplina sa katawan kasi madadala rin yun sa pagtanda, sa pag may pamilya na, din sa volleyball din. Since tumatanda rin tayo, siyempre paano ka makapaglaro continuously kung wala kasi disiplina sa katawan. So first, siyempre tataba ka nun, nagkukos na ng mga injury. So maging cautious din sa katawan.
Toto de la Vega has been a reliable offensive option for the Navy Sea Lions. His team is up by 4 points.
3-point for Airmen.
But down to 3 after that service error.
Jacob sends that ball straight into the net. It was in the first technical timeout right after where Philippine Air Force was able to make a solid run to tie the game. Let's see if they will be able to make that happen again.
3 service errors for Air Force, 2 para sa Navy.
Point for Navy.
Salvador continues to struggle in this game. 10 attempts, 3 errors, no success. Hasn't been a good first set for Paul
Peter
Salvador.
Gill serving.
Free ball para sa Navy. De La Vega on the set to Dolor. Last second save for Aleco. But a miscue between Salvador and Maclang.
Point for Navy. Timeout, Philippine Air Force.
Maclang thought that Salvador would still go for that attack, but it was a chance ball as we listen into this timeout.
Out of focus tayo. Alam naman natin yung mga sunod-sunod na mangyayari, lalo na yung third ball. Hindi naman pwede mag-over ang libero. Dapat sa mga attacker, outside the spiker, ha? Taasan niya lang yung ginagawa niyo dyan, yung tinuturo sa inyo. Wala, kahit itong laban naman natin to, huwag kayong ma-pressure sa kanila. Ha? Konti-konti nyo lang.
Anong nawawala sa atin? Communication, coach. Kayo na sumasagot niya na ano ko lang, target serve, communication, system, nawawala. Kanya-kanya kayo.
Timeout called by Air Force as they are down by 5
PGJC
here in set number 1. Good response after the timeout. Oh, you see the numbers a while ago. Excellent digs. Mas marami yung for Navy compared to Air Force.
Yes, definitely. A lot of those excellent digs coming off from against the attack of Salvador. They were able to hold him on bay.
Ball is wide.
That's wide para kay Dudor.
Air Force.
Such a good set coming from Pudadera. Dolor very eager to kill that ball already.
Abdul. Service out.
Not the best time to make some service errors for Air Force. That's their third here in set number 1.
Joven De La Vega serving for the Sea Lions.
Oh, it's gonna be an overreach para kay Dolor.
Reaching over the net. Hold on Dolor.
Sometimes if you jump so high and you're very athletic, it can be tempting, to reach that ball.
Nandun na eh.
Paul Salvador.
Pwede mo nang sungkitin, but that allows Air Force to trim the lead further just to 3.
Catch violation. Hold on Salvador.
Gonna be a violation on Salvador though.
Score is now 20-16 in
That looks like a legit
of Navy.
beach set. Not for indoor. That we call it butter. Butter for beach volleyball. That's perfect. But not when there's a roof above us.
And we know that Paul Salvador is a beach volleyball player of NU.
Leko hammers it into the line. Get that.
Oh, that's the point.
Jacob through the block. 21-17.
Currently the leading scorer for Navy with 3 attack points.
Wilbert Sapida serving for Navy. That goes out.
Way out.
18-21.
Third service error for the Navy. Both teams have 3 service errors. Navy still not out of the woods.
Ron Villegas, team captain, serving for the Airmen.
Oh, what a hit from Macob.
Cross-court care.
And what a set coming from Pudadera.
22-18.
Like, just really textbook shoot to the pin. Kiel throwing the middle blocker, opening up a lot of space for Jacob.
Jump set by Villegas to Haleko, and it's through.
Haleko.
So far, the lone bright star also for Air Force with 5 attack points.
Ryan Aleco serving for Airmen.
What a dig for Villegas. And play continues. But
De La Vega.
De La Vega
Marks the net.
just getting that one.
23-19.
De La Vega just at the right moment, the right spot,
Serving for Navy, John
tipping in
Jacob.
that rebound off the block by Salvador.
Ball is out.
Another service error for Navy.
Something they can afford
Luis
for now,
Luman
but it's
serving
still a
for
slim
Air
margin.
Force.
But that one
Free point
definitely
for Navy.
cannot afford.
And they're now at set point
And that
advantage.
puts Navy at set
Timeout,
point.
Philippine Air Force.
The Air Force will call for time.
Ganito lang. Sabi ko naman sa iyo, first set pa lang. Gusto nyo agad, explosive agad yung galaw nyo. Wala namang problema kung nakuha mag-play na ayos. Pero kasi, di ba, wala pa eh. Kunin nyo muna yung tempo ng laro nyo. Di ba? Nakukuha nyo na ngayon unti-unti. Pero kasi, duloy nyo ang error natin, 13. Ilan na lang gagawin nila? 12?
Minus na lang yung pre, oh.
Nagtatapon tayo na ang laki ng tinatapon natin, 13.
Sa atin yun, Toy.
Oo,
Wala
sige.
kaya trinabaho dyan.
Pagtapos ito, adjust tayo sa susunod na set. Ha? Alam nyo lang, ano problema natin. Ihabol sa mga wala. Ihabol nyo lang ako tayo. Labulin mga kaya yan.
Timeout called by Air Force, and we heard the huddle there. 13 out of the 24 points ng Navy galing sa errors nitong Air Force.
Serving.
That's more than half
Yeah.
of what they have scored and what they need to score
Abdul
to get set
points
number
the line.
1.
21-24.
Abdul, so far the best efficiency player for Air Force. 3 out of 4 attempts with just 1 error, so that's a respectable 50%. But he needs to deliver
Ahmad
more
Abdul
points
serving
definitely for Air
for
Force
Air
moving
Force.
forward.
Push by De La
De
Vega,
La Vega.
and that works as Navy gets set number
That
1
ends the set at 25-21.
over Air Force. Take a look at that play once again. The push off the block of Salvador, and De La Vega getting that one. 25-21. We'll be back with set number 2 after this break. back inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. You're still catching the Spiker Surf Open Conference. As we take a look at the highlights of set number 1, Doc AJ. Navy, they were leading a majority of that set. Medyo humabol tong Air Force. But then I think that part where Coach George Pascua changed his setters, no, yun yung nag-change ng complexion ng set number 1.
Yeah, the Sea Lions definitely started dominant early on. They were holding off a 2-3 point lead. But towards the end of the first technical timeout, Air Force made a run of their own, even getting the lead at some point of the match when Coach George Pascua changed setter and definitely changed the tempo of the team, where they held the driver's seat from the middle towards the end of the first set. In terms of attacks, not much difference, but in terms of distribution, the attacks for Air Force were just mainly Haleco and Abdul, whereas in Navy, it's a collective effort coming from Jacob, from Kiel, De La Vega, even Dolores. So it's a much more varied approach despite having just the same number of outputs. So the attack is very much in the favor of Navy because Pudadera has been distributing the ball better compared to Air Force, where we can see that even Haleco, who is hatallied 6 or 5 attack points, but the efficiency is not as good as compared to Jacob, who has a better efficiency for Navy.
Now we saw the numbers for both of these teams.
Now in the service zone.
We also heard the huddle a while ago by Coach Jeff Malabanan of Air Force na yung errors na ang dami. And they weren't able to limit it in set number 1.
First point of the set.
Imagine,
goes to Navy.
Navy only had to score 12 points on their own. Yung 13 galing sa Air Force.
So let's see how Air Force will adjust after that first set. Salvador needs to come alive definitely in this match.
His efficiency, he has to up it. Heading into this one as
Haleco
getting that one. Udadera with a set and easy point para kay Kiel.
Peter Kiel, 2 for 2 already.
2-1.
Seldom getting the touches. As you mentioned, Doc AJ, perfect so far.
Udadera definitely engaging the middles early on, so that will open a lot of space for the wings. Abdul was way underneath that ball. Sends it straight out.
5 points now for Jacob with 4 attacks. Outside for Abdul.
Another misfire from Abdul. Navy now with a 3-point lead.
That's a point for Salvador.
It's actually his first point of the match with that hit off the block of Navy. Much needed confidence booster for Salvador.
Dolor, that is short.
Point for Air Force.
Dolor going for a sharp cross-court attack, but sends it straight into the tape.
Manlan serving for Air Force. Udadera back sets and De La Vega delivers.
De La
Vega just over the block on that one, using his height advantage. Kiel just doing a good job in throwing the blockers also.
Oh, and Salvador slowly getting his groove here in this set.
4-5.
This guy will be bad news for Navy if he keeps on going. He's 2 for 2 already. Already stark difference from his set 1 outing.
Ahmad Abdul serving for the Airmen.
Udadera transfers to Dolor.
That is out.
That's outside.
And we're tied at 5.
What a great set coming from Pudadera, however. But
Substitution.
Dolor will be fielded out. Diok steps in.
Diok.
Been a struggle, quite a struggle for Dolor to get those attacks.
Serving. Abdul.
We are tied at 5-all. Udadera goes with De La Vega.
Down the line. De La
De La Vega, 2-4-2.
6-5. Joe De La Vega serving for Navy.
Overreceived. Oh, but a net violation for Liok. They're asking for a challenge, but again, cannot be used for now.
Serving for Air Force, Paul Salvador.
Pinabawi. But again, it's an error. This time it's out.
7-6.
Just like that, Air Force already with the lead after trailing by as much as
Serving
3 points.
Salvador.
Haleko gets that one off the check.
Haleko. That leads to our first technical timeout.
And a first technical
Philippine Air
timeout
Force on top.
as Air Force is up
6.
by 2.
You're still tuned in here at the 2024 Spikers Turf Open Conference. The men of the Philippine Air Force versus the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. Now, the captain of the ship, Greg Dolor, has been with the team for quite some time now. Pero kahit nabago daw si Coach George Pascua as their head coach, kilala na raw ni Greg ang sistema niya. Way back his college days daw as a Tama raw noong 2018, Coach George was able to handle Greg. And returning as his coach again under a different team, Coach George would reassure the team now na skills-wise, laging nandyan yan. But how they handle everything else, from the right calls, the discipline, it's something that they have to continuously work on. Back to set.
The service zone for Air Force.
Thank you, Denise, for that report. It's a 2-point lead for the Airmen. Let's see how they respond. Picked up by De La Vega. Pudadera, inangat para kay Dolor. And finally a point.
Dolor finally gets one in for Navy to stop the bleeding.
Serving team captain Greg Dolor.
Captain Greg Dolor serving para sa Sea Lions. They're trailing by 1 point. Oh, and it's an ace for Greg Dolor.
We are tied at 8.
That quick time on the bench proving to be a good breather for Greg Dolor. Back-to-back points already.
Serving team captain Dolor.
Oh, Haleko.
Haleko.
It's another point for
9-8.
Air Force.
Just the right choice of attack for Jaleco, challenging the shorter block of Pudadera.
Serving for Air Force, Hera, Domingo.
Pudadera, inangat kay Villavega. That's picked up by Air Force. And the tip for Jaleco.
Seize the hold.
Jaleco already 4 out of 5 attempts here in set number 2. A much better efficiency compared to set number 1. Already playing at 80% scoring here in this set.
That one is a block touch.
And Jacob finally joins the scoring tally here in set number 2 for Navy.
Serving for the Sea Lions, Wilbert Sapida.
Yep. Attack from Abdul is short.
Miscalculation, 4 hits.
Abdul continues with his struggle here in set number 2. 3 attempts, 3 errors.
Serving.
Navy ties this set at 10.
Good first ball. Villegas gives it to Jaleco again. It's been the hot hand here in set number 2 for the Airmen.
Serving for Air Force, team captain, Ron Villegas.
11 serving 10. Pudadera again goes to De La Vega. They've been wanting to connect on that play.
Yeah.
De La Vega.
De La Vega also with a high efficiency here in set number 2. 3 out of 5. Respectable 60%. And now he moves up front with a solid front line for the Sea Lions.
Naibalik.
Off the block.
Lady luck on the side of Jaleco. That wasn't very stable attack coming from him.
Serving for Air Force.
Pudadera to De La Vega. And again, Toto scores.
De La Vega.
De La Vega 4 points already just here in set number 2. Why he's the main gun of the Sea Lions.
Serving for Navy, John Jacob.
That's wide.
Ball is out. 13-12. Luis Sumanlang serving.
13 serving 12. Pudadera to Dolor.
Cross-court kill. Dolor.
What a set coming from Pudadera. Just the flight alone, and with Dolor's intention to kill, you knew that it's going to be an automatic point.
Hinahinga na siya saglit ni Coach George Pascuano when he was struggling.
Yeah, and it proved really good one for Dolor.
Here he goes again. Tight on that set. It ends up as a free ball on this next one. Salvador. And then the tip for Domingo.
Guards the net.
Well, Domingo is a tall player,
14.
so he can get up there.
Serving for the Air Force, Ahmad Abdul.
Ahmad Abdul serving for Air Force. They're still holding on to a 1-point lead.
Ball is out.
Abdul sends that out as he continues to struggle here in this set. Let's see if the Sea Lions will capitalize on that and change the favor.
Service zone for Navy.
Toto De La Vega now with 8 points. Tit for tat. Same thing. A service
Point
error
for
for
Air
De La Vega.
Service error for Navy, preventing them to take the driver's seat here in the set.
Paul Salvador at the service.
And right now, it's Navy with more errors.
Yeah.
As I say that, another one for Air Force Exchange. 3 straight service errors now for both teams.
Let's see if Navy will finally use this to their advantage.
Trying to get us to the 16-point mark. And the next break, let's see. That is through. Haleko, naibalik. Villegas, sinangat ulit kay Haleko. De La Vega saves it. Dolor from the back. Salvador with a pickup. Long rally ongoing. De La Vega. Abdul pops it up. Haleko. Dolor got a touch.
Haleko,
But too strong as Brian Haleko sends us to the second technical timeout. Air Force up by 1.
16-15. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Challenge is now back in full effect for the game.
We are back inside the result. Back inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum, and we are now live on One Sports Plus and Arena Plus Astig sa Sports. As we see Air Force up by 1 point. The last one coming from Brian Haleko.
Back at the service zone.
16 serving 15. Challenge, by the way, is now in effect. So both teams can use their challenges.
Haleko finds the line. 17-15.
Haleko continues his rampage for the Airmen. Now they're up by 2. That is his 8th attack point just here in set number 2.
Pudadera to Jacob. He breaks the block.
Off the block. Jacob.
Much needed point for Jacob. He has been silent all throughout set number 2. Now he's 2 for 2 here with that attack from the left. Gonna need more of that if they want to keep the Airmen within distance.
Villegas waits for the ball. Oh, Navy hasn't had an answer for Brian Haleko in this set.
Yeah, it's the Brian Haleko show definitely for the Airmen here in set number 2.
Sabi nila, tagal naman mapunta sa back row nito. They're waiting for Haleko not to get those touches. Pudadera. Tried to go off the block. And as you mentioned, they can now challenge. Oh, but it will be a timeout.
PGJC Navy.
Nakita mo umusog doon, bigay mo rito sa opposite set. Bakit pinipilit nyo nandun yung blocker? Tapos nabubulat kayo. Pag nabablock kayo, ikaw naman, nandun yung receive, hindi pa pwedeng 8 quick. Magbabackweek ka na ngayon. Iiwas kayo sa block. Hindi po pinupuntahan nyo yung blocker ng kalaban. Kaya yung kalaban nakatayo lang. Diba, hindi ba pwedeng paggalawin natin blocker ng kalaban gaya yung ginagawa nila? Natindihan? Bakit yung sinisiksik kung tapos doon din nabigyan na ng bola? Opposite set ka, ha? Let's go! Navy!
Get 7-day premium access to NBA, PBA, UAAP, PVL, and other leagues and exclusive shows when you download the Pilipinas Live app. Register now for free.
Back in the service
That's where
zone,
you are
is their
watching
team
us.
captain, Ron
You
Villegas.
can see the games over on Pilipinas Live on One Sports Plus as well for the Spikers Turf Open Conference. Kept alive by Navy, pero free ball ang ibibigay sa Air Force. Unable to take advantage with that save from Dolor. Players scrambling. Haleko off the block and he scores.
Everything just working well for Haleko. That's his 11th point just in the set alone. Add that 7 points from set number 1. He's already at 18.
Set 2's not even done yet.
Yeah.
Captain Villegas for the serve.
You see Haleko had 21 points in that win against Richmark Sports.
Point
Meanwhile,
for the Sea Lions.
service error para sa Air Force.
Villegas had a good run in that service line for Air Force. They're now up by 3.
Just a 3-point lead here para sa Airmen. Good first ball. Nilipat kay Abdul. Tried to
Is out.
hit it off the blockers or to De La Vega, pero it went wide.
De La Vega quick to recognize the intention of Abdul, withdrawing his hands at the last second.
Air Force not out of the woods just yet. They're only up by 2 now. And a missed receive. Abdul. Here comes Navy. Pudadera to Jacob. De La Vega covers. So does Air Force. Here comes Haleko. Chance for Navy. And the play by De La Vega works.
De La Vega with a quick tip.
De La Vega now with 5 here in set number 2.
Timeout, Philippine Air Force.
I think Air Force was asking for a violation on the attack. We are tied.
Kahit mahina,
Maybe
malakas,
by
basta
one
kailangan
timeout
natin
for Air
mapatay.
Force.
Kasi pag nag-stay sila dyan, lugi tayo. Pag nahabol tayo, kailangan mai-stop agad natin. Pantigil lang ng momentum to. Ajay, taasan mo naman yung porsyento ng ginagawa mo. Diba? Wala tayo pupuntahan ng puntos pag di tayo nakapatay tayo. Saan tayo pupunta? Easy ball na yung bumabalik sa atin, di pa natin mapatay. May spacing naman.
Kawala ka ng sarili mo. May pasente, 1, 2, 3. Kami may kawala.
Awesome live sports viewing is guaranteed with Signal. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Switch now and get up to 3 months with no cash out. Visit www.signal.tv/switch for more details.
At the service zone.
3 straight points for Navy to cut the lead down to 1.
Ball is out.
And it's out for
And we're
Lumanlan.
tied at
And we are
20
tied
all.
at 20 all.
Just a little too low on the set for Lumanlan. I can sense the eagerness in Lumanlan. He haven't had any attack points since the start of the match.
And Haleko is rejected.
That could be the total game changer for Navy. Peter Kiel finally finding the answer against the problem called Haleko.
Took some time before they got to cover him. But the best time as Navy takes the lead. Budadera inangat sa likod kay De La Vega. And into the stands. 6 unanswered points for the Sea Lions.
De La Vega leading the cause for Navy. 6 out of 12 attempts. Very respectable 50% efficiency here in this set alone.
Babawi si
Finds a spot.
Haleko, and finally that
22.
stops the bleeding.
Haleko moves to the back row.
Haleko,
He will
serving.
also deliver some pipe attacks.
Jacob Dug up by Villegas. Maklang. The attack of Abdul. Popped up by Dolor. And De La Vega will score.
De La Vega just really showing a lot of maturity in this set.
23.
He has been very efficient in terms of his attacks. There's 3 straight attack points coming from Joey De La Vega.
Serving for Navy, John
The
Jacobs.
Sea Lions are 2 points away from completing this comeback in set 2. Kalingking picks it up. De La Vega. Down it goes.
De La Vega.
De La Vega matching
Sea
the
Lions
efficiency
now
of
at
Haleco
set
on
point
the other
advantage.
side.
Timeout, Philippine Air Force.
Going down the line as he puts Navy at set point. Timeout for the Airmen.
Layo nang inabol nila sa atin. Kaya sige lang, i-ano nyo lang yung ano nyo, ha? Kailangan natin makarecover, ha? Medyo humina yung ano natin, yung ginagawa. Yung porsyento ng ginagawa.
Sabi ko sa inyo lugi tayo sa ikutan kasi strong rotation nila. Kailangan natin maikot. Naikot natin, naka 6 points sila bago tayo makapuntos. Diba? Pagkakataon, pag maganda yung set, patayin nyo lang, dikit lang natin ang konti. Yung tayo sa pressure game.
Good news mga kapatid, napapanood na rin tayo sa pinakabagong free-to-air channel na talaga namang para sa Pinoy, ang RPTV. Tutok na sa Analog TV Channel 9, DTT Channel 19 at 183 sa higit 300 cable at satellite providers nationwide at sa Signal Play. De La Vega with the finisher as Navy gets set number 2. Let's check out that last play. They go to De La Vega right there. Blockers were late. And the finishing touch para kay Toto De La Vega, 25-21, just like what happened in the opening set. We'll give you set number 3 when we return.
For most of the set early on, Air Force was in charge while Navy was finding some struggles early on with their attacks, but with De La Vega leading the fray towards the middle and the end of the set, they were able to snatch that set from the Airmen. Over on the other side, Airmen finding a gemstone in Haleco, who blasted off with 11 big attack points just in that set alone, but he was sorely missing some help from the other airmen in terms of attack, as only Salvador had 2 additional points and Domingo with 1 from the middle. As we can see here, Air Force 14 attacks, most of it just coming from Haleco, while in Navy 15 attack points. De La Vega had probably half of it, but Dolor, Kiel, and Jacob were there to support the numbers for him. And it's just the errors also, that 2 errors coming from the Air Force, which really set the tone for Navy towards the end and getting set number 2.
We are back inside the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Air Force looked good at the start of set number 2, Doc AJ.
Yeah, they were pretty much in control in the first half of set number 2. But once De La Vega came alive with his rampage, everyone just followed suit.
Welcome back to set number 3 of match number 5 between Philippine Air Force and the PGJC.
We welcome you all to set number 3 here on One Sports Plus and Pilipinas Live. Dip Dipianco with Doc AJ Pareja calling this match. Denise Valdesancho is our courtside reporter. It looked like Air Force was going to get that set with Jaleco catching fire, but what else worked to the advantage of Navy, in your opinion, Doc AJ?
Well, similar to the first set, there's better ball distribution in the part of Navy. Although De La Vega had half of the attack output of the Sea Lions, all the others were also chipping in their contributions in the attack. Whereas with Navy, it was, or Air Force rather, it was just a one-man show in Jaleco.
Balanced output for the Sea Lions. Jaleco now with 19 points on 17 attacks and 2 blocks. Villegas. Salvador was a bit quiet at the latter part of that set, but gets the first point or the second point rather, for Air Force in this set.
Started off really strong in set number 2 with 2 points immediately, but was just held at that point all throughout.
And back-to-back points there for the Airmen.
This is how Salvador started his set number 2. Let's see if he can sustain it. They want to extend this match.
That's a dump and a point for Jacob.
2-3. John Jacobs serving for Navy.
Villegas, sinangat kay Salvador. Rejected. Kalingking saves it, pero sumobra.
Lumanlan with a regalo.
Lumanlan with his first attack point of the match. That regalo, or that overday coming from Kalingking.
Serving Luis Lumanlan.
And that play able to draw blockers. They went to De La Vega instead.
De La Vega fires a cannon from the right side.
Serving Peter Kim.
Villegas goes to the middle. Naiangat. Back with the blue shirts. Salvador goes for the attack, but it was outside.
Ball is out.
A little too sharp on the angle for Salvador. And just like that, Navy ties the set at 4.
Yep.
Service Kim.
Oh, what a hit. Coming from Domingo.
5-4.
Best time for Villegas to start engaging the middles for Air Force.
Serving for Air Force, Aman Abdul.
Abdul with a serve. In terms of excellent sets, di naman nagkakalayo ng Navy with a total of 16, 14 for Air Force. Now you can see that the Airmen, Doc AJ, dumidikit naman sila.
Yeah.
Both sets, identical scores, 25-21. Villegas sets up the play. Oh, Salvador can't connect. But
There's a challenge.
Air Force will call for a challenge.
Philippine Air Force.
As they wait for the replay, Salvador gets a word with our first referee just to remind him not to react too much.
Keep the emotions in check.
But we know that ganun talaga si Paul Salvador,
Yes,
diba?
yes. Very intense.
That's where he gets his energy, even in his beach volleyball time with NU. We are here at set number 3 of this match, 5-all. Salvador's attack went wide, but he's asking, or rather, Air Force calling for a challenge. The Airmen won their first outing against Richmark Sports in 4 sets. Right now, they're down 2-0 against the Sea Lions, who dropped their opening game against Signal, who will see action later on, by the way, in our second match.
Very clear with that fifth finger.
There is no block touch.
And Air Force cannot believe it. And it is heated up here. The coaching staff of Airmen not pleased with the call of that challenge. But we are clarifying this. The first and second referees are what the technical officials are saying, Doc AJ, is that yung gumalaw,
It wasn't because of the ball contact.
iniwas daw.
Oh, interesting.
The argument of our officials, ang counter argument naman nila is, aside from that, and head coach Jeffrey Malabanan will head to the table to watch it himself and see. And my partner will do the same to have a better view of what happened. I would also want to join, pero hindi aabot yung headset dun sa table. So again, yung atake ni Paul Salvador went wide. They asked for a block touch challenge. When they showed the replay, akala ng Airmen that they got the point, but officials are saying na hindi raw yun. So I think the referees are still discussing with our officials. What did you see there, Doc AJ?
From a different angle, the
pinky ba yun?
The pinky or the fifth digit is moving, but Kind of hard to say also because of the ball, but
Ay, sabi nila kasi pag sa LED mo pinanood, yung iba yung dating.
quality.
But if you look at the main monitor of where they review it, remember we are only at 5-all here in set number 3. And there will be a yellow card handed out for Air Force, particularly Ancheta, who's on the bench. Might have reacted with that call. And he owns up to it.
Yeah.
And he's just standing up for his teammates. We know that.
Yellow card has been awarded for Jesse Lopez and John Ancheta. Warning, misconduct.
Same with assistant coach Jesse Lopez.
27 remains with the Navy.
Point stands with Navy. They cannot believe it.
Back at the service zone, Joe De La Vega.
With that, Sea Lions take the lead here in set number 3.
Binawi naman agad itong Air Force courtesy of Domingo.
Domingo, back-to-back points from the middle. And Jaleco is back up front as Salvador serves.
Paul Salvador serving.
Play continues. Free ball given up. Dolor. And it's a point for Navy.
7-6.
Ready na mag-receive ang floor director natin na si Itabot. Medyo mahina daw yung palo ni Dolor. Hindi umabot.
Kinulang pa.
That one is short.
2 service errors now for Navy here in set number 3. They can't be too relaxed here.
Serving for Air Force, Hera Domingo.
And that one is inside for Jacob.
Cross-court.
Wide open zone 5 for Jacob in that attempt.
8.
And that brings us to the first technical timeout.
7. Philippine Air Force.
You're still with us. The 2024 Spikers Turf Open Conference, Philippine Air Force versus the PGJC Navy. Now, way back my interview with the Airman last conference on Spikers Turf, the team really emphasized in the interview the call for recruitment, or just like what they say, fresh legs now. And one fresh leg who's been consistent for the team is rookie Brian Jaleco. Now, Brian served as a reserve libero for NPNU last season 85 and has been since then dominating here. And as a Bulldog, he's someone the team relies on, lalo na't sanay raw siya sa sistema, which Coach Jess wishes to instill dito sa Spikers Turf. But outside volleyball, guys, Brian is a graduating marketing major and actually he's looking forward daw talaga sa OJT niya. Kinukwento niya sa akin to with so much passion. Dip, Doc AJ.
Thank you, Denise, for that report. Brian Jaleco has been a game changer for Air Force in this match. And you like those stories, Doc AJ, kasi you may not have a lot of playing time in your college days, but that doesn't mean it's over for you. You get a team that can utilize you, and it's showing right now for Jaleco.
Back row attack. De La Vega
has a different story in mind against Jaleco.
10-8.
Back-to-back attack points already for De La Vega.
Now, if you're Air Force, you can't let that previous challenge really distract you. This is not yet a done deal. Malayo-layo pa yung 25 points na hinahabol.
That match violation to be called on the Sea Lion. Much needed breather for the Air Force.
Service, Brian Jaleco.
Oh, I think he got conscious there because of the line. Medyo malapit na rin siya. And we take a look at the service errors for both teams.
Jaleco was silent all throughout his run in the front line.
10 service error na for Air Force, 9 for Navy.
Quick attack.
It's been the middles who have been delivering the goods for Air Force here in set number 3.
Yeah, Lumanlan punching it through.
Lumanlan 2 for 2. Domingo 2 out of 3 attempts. Much better performance compared to set 1 and 2 combined.
That's long for De La Vega, but they will want to challenge.
There's a challenge.
That was a quick ball, so medyo mahirap din makita.
PGJC Navy. Ball in, ball out.
So they will look at this previous play. Pudadera going to De La Vega.
It's way in. Not even a part of the ball was in the outside. So that's 3 straight points for Joven De La Vega. As Coach George is all smiles with that. Navy maintains a 2-point advantage.
Peter Kiel serving.
12 serving 10. Kiel. That is blocked. Set back. Naipalik ulit. The net defense of Navy working to perfection.
3 blocks already for Navy as Abdul continues to struggle. He has been struggling with the attack. No attack points from him since set number 2.
Nakuha yan ng Navy. De La Vega again, meanwhile, has been hot.
4 out of 5 attempts. Here in set number 3, whopping 80% efficiency for De La Vega.
For the serve.
4-point lead now for the Sea Lions. Over receive. Pero naging point pa yun ng Air Force. Oh, that happens.
Overpass. A lucky point for the Air Force.
Misread by Navy. Dolor. The dig. And that's already out.
Of the hands of Jaleco. Serving.
15 serving 11. Villegas sinangat kay Salvador. Abdul was there for the coverage. Paul again. This time it works.
And that touch to be called on Pudadera.
Point and serve for Air Force. Paul Salvador serving.
And down it goes for Greg Dolor.
Greg Dolor, 3 for 3.
Technical timeout.
So far has been immaculate here in set number 3 as they reach second technical time.
Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Practice or rest?
Practice.
Cakes or chocolates?
Chocolate.
And over
Sleeve
technical
or
time.
sleeveless jersey?
Sleeve.
At the service zone
High
for
cut or
Navy.
low cut shoes?
Low cut.
Rom-com or horror?
Horror.
Dancing or singing?
Singing.
Pagalitan ni coach o hindi ka papansinin ni coach?
Pagalitan ni coach, syempre. Mahirap na pag di ka pinagalitan eh.
Jack Galingking being honest with his answers.
Sapida.
Sapida gets the point for Navy. It's back up to a 4-point lead.
17-13.
Navy just totally in control of the attacks. Jacob with 2, De La Vega with 4, Dolor with 3, Sapida with 1. It's Pudadera really doing a good job in distributing the ball for the Sea Lions.
And Abdul, as you mentioned, Doc AJ, hasn't gotten his touch properly here in set 3.
He only had 3 attack points in set number 1 and has been silent ever since.
This is a guy that scored 14 points in their last game. Haleko is blocked.
No entry. Pudadera.
4 big block points for set number 3 for the Sea Lions as Coach Jeffrey calls for time.
Actually, tama lang naman yung block eh. Kaso nga lang, ang hirap pumalo talaga ng masyado. Nadidikit mo lang kung ito yung net. Ito. Kaya niyang ibabawan yan. Aliit lang ng set. Ha? Okay, bawi kayo ha. Okay, go! Middle nila, nag-a-adjust na agad doon sa open pag medyo out of. Yung, hindi pa naman out of system yung receive eh. Out of seconds ano. Pwede ka maghabol na quick. Pero ikaw bahala doon. Kumbaga, yung middle natin hindi na masyado nababandaan. Pwede kang pumasok sa gitna. Ha? Paggalawin mo lang yung quicker. Paggalawin mo lang. 1, 2, 3.
Huge 6-point lead right now for Navy at this stage of the game.
19-13.
And if you look at the block points here in this set, Doc AJ, Navy dominating that department.
1-2 play.
Villegas takes matters to his own hands with that 1-2 play as Ancheta moves in to serve for Air Force. This might prove to be a good risk for Coach Jeffrey, just like how Pudadera stepped in and changed the tempo of the play for Navy in the previous sets.
Naibalik yung atake ni Kiel. Here comes Jacob. Shut down.
A much needed block for the Airmen. Cut the lead to 4.
Back-to-back points for Air Force. Ancheta back at the service line. Oh.
20-15.
Not the error that they need here in set number 3, nor can afford.
Louis Budadero serving for Sea Lions.
Ancheta with a setup to Haleko, and it drops.
Aleko for the ball. 16-20.
Aleko has been silent here in set number 3. Assists. There's just 1 point after 3 rotations up front.
Oh, Ancheta unable to control the attack from Akob.
21-16.
Akob fires a bullet straight to Ancheta. That's 3 out of 4 attempts.
Serving for Navy, John Jacob.
21-16. It went over, and a tip.
Luan Lam guards the net.
3 for 3. He has come alive here in set number 3, but still needs a lot of help from the wings.
Serving Luis Lumanlan.
Saved by Ancheta. Salvador with a wind-up, pero hindi naagangat ni Domingo.
De La Vega blocks.
The 5th block point for Navy. Salvador, just like in set number 2, he started off hot with 2 quick points, but has been plateauing at that all throughout the set.
Ancheta with a set to Abdul. And finally it drops.
Abdul.
Finally, Abdul, after being silent all throughout set number 2, up until this point, with that down the line attack over the block.
Substitution, Philippine Air Force.
Villegas will replace Ancheta.
Back in. Ahmad Abdul for the serve.
Dolor again for Navy.
Over the block. 23.
4-4-4 for Greg Dolor. 100% efficiency in this set. That has been his trademark play, that shoot set coming from Pudadera to the left.
Villegas upset to Salvador. That is long.
Ball is out. PGJC Navy now at match point.
And the Sea Lions are now at match point.
Philippine Air Force.
Timeout called by Air Force.
Wala. Challenge natin.
Wala, laro lang.
Tama pa lang, wala na. Hindi ko na ano.
Video upload, diretso, laki-laki rin po. Okay lang. Okay lang. Hindi, basta sabihin nyo din kung ilan nagbablock. Para may idea ha.
Basta,
Lalo pag out of system.
let's play, Benok. Magbibigyan kayo. Sige, marami tayo.
Uy, no. Hindi ka pa rin nag-adjust dun sa one set.
Pero wala naman tayo magagawa.
Weakness natin. Ano tayo, weakness rotation natin. Yung rotation natin ngayon mahina. Kailangan lang maiikot lang. Gawin na lang paraan, ikot lang natin. Tapos, para labas mo. Pasok siya mo. Brian.
It's a mountain to climb here for the Airmen, down by 6. And De La Vega will serve for the match.
Serving for the match, number 18, Joven De La Vega.
24-18. A bullet of a serve. And they end it with that ace from De La Vega. And PGJC Navy gets their first win here in the 2024 Spikers Turf Open Conference.
Congratulations to the PGJC Navy Sea Lions.
Take a look at that one. Into the stands and all smiles for De De La Vega and company. As we will be back to wrap this one up after this break.
Ito naman. Okay lang. Parang naka-3 sets ko. Okay lang. Actually, pero... pinag-3 sets lang. Going go from last game. After ng second question, diretso naman. Hindi ka na yata. Yes? You're still watching the 2024 Spikers Turf Open Conference live here at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum. It was a match between the Philippine Air Force and the PGJC Navy, and of course the Navy men in won. And we have here our player of the game. We have Joven de la Cruz. Joven, did you know that you had 20 points, 16 attacks, 3 blocks, and 1 ace? Congratulations, Joven. Joven, my first question for you is, you came from a loss against Signal. And this game, it served as your redemption, no? Pag-redemption kayo. So what's so different with this match na it made you guys finish this match in 3 sets?
Nung previous game namin against Signal, so pressure siguro kami kasi yung mga unforced error namin is sobrang dami talaga. Imagine mo sa isang set 16 error. So ngayon nag-focus na kami na minimize yung error namin, tsaka yung laging rini-remind kami ni coach yung mga anong gagawin. So yun, yung progress tuloy-tuloy naman.
Yes, now you also mentioned coach, and kanina in my interview, no, Joven, you said you have been with the team for 5 years, no? And now it's under Coach George Pasco. And kanina sabi ni Coach George sa akin, it's just been 2 weeks na training nyo, pero you guys were still able to pull off a 3-set win. So how's the experience so far under Coach George Pasco?
Masaya kasi yung experience na yung siya nagtuturo, kasi kumbaga legend na rin din siya. So yung mga experience niya, pinapasa niya rin sa amin through yun, yung pagti-training, tapos syempre yung explosive na training talaga, kasi alam na si Coach George. So yun, nagiging nabuboost rin yung moral namin, tsaka yung progress ng bawat isa ng skill, at least umaangat.
Anything but
binabati ko yung parents ko, si mama at saka si tatay sa Aklan, then si Kathleen Daniel Canao, soon to be my wife, yun. Tsaka yung parents niya, tsaka yung mga relatives ko dyan sa Aklan, sa Bacolod, makilala ko. Si Coach Roger, hello po, yun lang.
Congratulations again. That was Joven De La Vega, our player of the game. Now it's back to the panel.
Thank you, Denise. And there you have it, our best player of the game, Toto De La Vega, delivering the goods para sa PGJC Navy Sea Lions. And take a look at the highlights. It started off shaky, Doc AJ, no? Tagal nung lal na yun for the challenge. But then Navy did not let that part distract themselves with their goal to get it in straight sets.
Yeah, they started off hot until the first technical timeout in the first set, where Air Force seemed to have had command of the game, but once Pudadera, the setter, was fielded in by Coach George, things became a little different for the rest of the Sea Lions, where they were pretty much in control of the entire match, courtesy also of Joven De La Vega. Also give credit to the setter, who has been putting or making better distribution compared to the set play of Air Force, where it was primarily a Brian Haleco show. Brian Haleco did well in terms of delivering the much-needed firepower from Air Force, but sorely missed were his other teammates. That's what cost this match. And with that, the sea conquers the air.
Right, and again, the blocking party for Navy and the win. First win ni Coach George Pasqua here in the Spikers Turf Open Conference. Up next, we have the Signal Asia Spikers facing Richmark Sports Elite Spikers for this second match. On behalf of our director, Koyu Paco, my partner, Doc AJ Pareja, our courtside reporter, Denise Valdesancho, my name is Dip Dipiaco, saying thank you for watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference, where power meets passion.